What is this place?
I'm not sure. Who are you?
I'm Megan. Who are you?
I'm Kara. How do we even get in here?
Oh no, I don't remember anything.
Let's find a way out.
Hello, Megan and Kara. You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game. This basement is filled with asbestos. In order for you to survive, you will have to educate yourself on events happening in your community. Put your culinary skills to the test and follow my messages. You have 22 minutes before the toxins.
Coming up on today's show, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission helps educate about residential schools.
Edmonton Public Library is reassuring the public of its safety.
Could Nate potentially be seeing a November break?
Hello and welcome to Second Edition News.
The Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada was held at the Shaw Conference Centre this past weekend. Aboriginal peoples gathered to express their heartache and share their stories about residential schools.
When I was 5, I was taken away by a huge mission boat along the Mackenzie River, and it took forever. It took 4 days as far as I was concerned, maybe longer.
The Alberta National event offers an opportunity to learn about the residential schools and its history. Throughout the event, traditional ceremonies were held and the public had an opportunity to step back into their past through the many exhibits.
Most post-secondary students apply for their loans online. However, this may not be the safest option. The Interim Privacy Commission of Canada released information regarding the lost loans. Nearly 500,000 students' information was released, and sources say that the portable hard drive containing the information was not password protected.
There's obviously an implied level of trust when you send any information off to the government. I would say keeping all your information private and secure, not throwing out any sensitive information. That's actually where a lot of information gets stolen from, is the garbage, believe it or not.
Employees handling the device were not aware of the sensitivity of the information it contained. The missing files included students' names, social insurance numbers, dates of birth, contact info, and loan balances. The University of Alberta received some good news the other day when the November break idea became a reality. NAIT students are looking at the positives and the negatives of a potential fall break.
I think students get really stressed out, and that's why there's one in the spring, so I don't know why we don't have one in the fall to take a little bit of that stress away, give us a bit of a break.
I do know that a lot of the programs have been cut back from 17-week programs to 15-week programs, and then again they're also trying to push for more cutbacks in terms of time allotment for those courses as well. So seeing as we were already crushed for time, taking another break, if we could work it, that would be great, but really in the end the students are going to lose out not having the time needed to learn their studies.
Nothing is for sure with the break here at NAIT. However, there will be more details to come in the next couple of months.
The University of Alberta is getting support from the Harper government along with 32 other institutions for their research departments. This past Friday, Minister of State for Science and Research Ed Holder announced support for 102 new Canada research chairs.
We need to honor those people and make a difference in the quality of life of people, which is many people in this room.
The Canada Research Chairs program was created back in 2000. The annual program expenditures have helped attract some of the world's most accomplished and promising minds.
It pushes the frontiers of knowledge for the next generation of highly skilled researchers. We heard Lauren say a little bit earlier that what that does is it gives other younger, newer people to come into the field.
The Canada Research Chair program is a group of research professors at degree-granting post-secondary institutions.
The Alberta Aviation Museum unveiled a very special temporary display as tribute to the 90th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Air Force. Director Tom Hendricks and retired RCAF Brigadier General Bill Buckham made the unveiling Tuesday morning. The display is geared to educate about humanitarian and disaster relief missions around the world that began in 1924.
The Royal Canadian Air Force was born 90 years ago, April 1st, which as we all know is April Fool's Day. But in that 90 years, it's become a tremendous piece of our history. And the 90th anniversary is very important to us to commemorate.
Most of what we have seen about the Royal Canadian Air Force is in its combat role, making this display very important to the Alberta Aviation Museum.
After the recent assault charge at Stanley Milner Library, EPL Director Kevin Kramer would like to remind the public that EPL is still a safe place for children to go.
We have security at our downtown branch at Stanley Milner Library. Anytime we have between 2 and 3 guards, but supplementing that, we provide a lot of training for our staff on both security issues, nonviolent crisis intervention.
They say that they charged a 42-year-old man for sexually assaulting a 10-year-old girl and that he has been connected to many other assault charges. EPL Security handled the situation effectively and made sure the 10-year-old was safe.
Our libraries are still very safe places to be. We would treat it as an isolated incident.
Getting your foot in the door of the broadcasting industry can be difficult.
Students from across the province gathered at NAIT for some experts' advice at the Rogers Excellence in Broadcasting workshop. Carly Robinson reports.
The broadcast industry has been changing quickly as advances in technology change how journalists need to approach a story. As a reporter for CBC's The National, Ian Hannamansing has seen this firsthand.
Completely different than it was 3 years ago.
Students from across the province had a chance to learn from his experience at the 7th annual Rogers Excellence in Broadcasting seminar, held at NAIT.
Content-driven business, but also you will be expected to shoot and edit and deal with computer programs and servers and all that sort of stuff. So you have to have a foot in two worlds, you have to.
Hannamansing was joined by other radio and television personalities for a panel discussion, all offering insight into getting by in the industry, with topics ranging from content creation to getting your first job. Students enjoyed this opportunity.
Meeting those guys in person because they're so much more down to earth than you think.
Much like the hands-on education approach taken here at NAIT, students at the Excellence in Broadcasting seminar were given an opportunity to pick the brains of media professionals and even test their live reads in front of a live panel.
Nerves were high for some as it was their first time reading from a teleprompter. Participants were given immediate feedback on what to work on as they continue in this field. The role of media was solidified by the panel.
We don't want to overstate our role, but it's a pretty essential role.
NAIT will be hosting again next year. For Second Edition News, Carly Robinson.
With the nice weather, we've been seeing runners outside again.
Jacob, I believe Edmonton was named Tracktown Canada.
That's right, ladies. And Edmonton will also be holding the 2016 championships for the Canadian Olympic Track and Field Trials. Mayor Don Iveson has made it official. Edmonton is now Tracktown Canada.
We are now the Canadian capital of athletics.
A conference was held to announce that Edmonton will now be Tracktown Canada. Athletes from the U of A and across the province have come down to see Tim Barrett, President of Athletics Alberta, and Mayor Don Iveson to make it official. Don Iveson says Edmonton has a rich and successful history in hosting athletic events both nationally and internationally. With the Summer Olympics 2 years away in Brazil, 2016 will also be the Canadian Olympic Track and Field Trials. Edmontonians will be excited to see future athletes try out for the Olympics. Two-time Olympian 100-meter hurdler Angela White is proud to see her hometown become Tracktown Canada.
Where athletes, volunteers, and spectators know that something special is going to happen. So with that, I'm very, very proud and obviously very biased because you're now melding the two things that I love the most, which is track and my hometown, Edmonton. So with that, I'm very, very happy to say welcome to Tracktown Canada.
To find out more information on Tracktown Canada, you can go to their website at tracktowncan.com. And in 2 years, you will see the red and white in Brazil. The Hayabusa Fighting Center in St. Albert is home to two well-known fighters, Ryan Jimmo and Luke Harris. Another fighter from Hayabusa is undefeated and hopes to keep it that way. Tanner Bozer is a light heavyweight fighter from the small town of Bonnyville, Alberta. He came to Hayabusa Fighting Center in St. Albert to further his career in MMA. With a karate background, he needs to learn new fighting techniques for upcoming opponents.
When I came here, I was mostly a striker, and I had a bit of jiu-jitsu. There was a jiu-jitsu coach in Bonnyville, but I had no wrestling, and everything needed a lot of improvement. The guys here have helped me out a lot.
Tanner's undefeated with a total of 5 victories. With only 1 decision win, his other fights were won by submission of the rear naked choke technique, and his other 2 wins were won by knockout. Canner's last fight was against Nick Campbell, and he choked him out with 4 minutes and 53 seconds in the second round. His next fight is not scheduled yet, but he will be ready for it. The city of Edmonton is home to a number of sports teams, and here's what to look for in the next week. The Oilers lost to the Anaheim Ducks last night by a score of 3-2. The Oilers' next game will be on Friday, the 4th, in Phoenix against the Coyotes. In the second round of playoff, the Oil Kings will play the Brandon Wheat Kings at home on April 3rd. The last time these two teams met, the Oil Kings won with a score of 6-3. The undefeated Rush will play Saturday, April 5th against the Colorado Mammoth. The Rush are now 13-0, and that broke the NLL record for the longest undefeated streak. The Fort McMurray Oil Barons are one game ahead in the North Finals in the AJHL, in front of the first place Spruce Grove Saints. The FC Edmonton Soccer Club will begin this season on April 12th in Florida to play against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Last season, the team was in 5th place. Ryan Jimmel will fight on April 16th on the UFC Fight Night against Sean O'Connell. Last fight, Ryan Jimmel lost due to a leg injury, but he is back and ready to fight again. The Oilers may be in second last place in the NHL, but the Oilers are in line for a second overall draft pick in 2014. The Oil Kings also have made their 4th appearance in the playoffs. Last season, the Oil Kings were beaten in the finals by the Portland Winterhawks. Let's see if they'll make it that far this year. That is your look at sports, second edition.
Well, all the Edmonton teams will be busy this week.
That's right, Lydia. I'm really looking forward to that Rush game. You don't see a lot of teams break an undefeated record.
That's it for news and sports. Let's see how Kara and Megan are doing.
How does he expect us to get out of here when we don't even know what we're looking for?
We've got to be missing something. It's probably right under our noses.
Did you know that for continuity, the actress that played Carrie slept covered in blood for 3 entire days? Did you know that the roller coaster in Final Destination 3 is a real attraction in British Columbia? Did you know that in the movie It, Pennywise the clown isn't wearing a wig, it's Tim Curry's real hair? Did you know that in The Night of the Living Dead and the movie Psycho, they used Bosco chocolate syrup for blood? Did you know that the skeletons used in Poltergeist were real human remains? Apparently the plastic ones were more expensive.
I can barely move. I'm so hungry. Kara, we need to find something to eat. Are you okay? What's wrong? There's nothing there.
I'm a full-time student, so I don't have time to go out and find what I like.
I just gotta have a long-term relationship. I don't want to waste my time with airheads anymore.
I'm a no fuss, no muss kind of guy. I'm looking for that right pairing to come home to at the end of the day, and Big Rock gets that.
I was matched with Grasshopper because of the details, you know? It's not just because I like blondes, it goes deeper than that. The hints of apple, vanilla, and cinnamon. It's not just about appearances.
When Big Rock matched me with Scottish Heavy Ale, it was an instant connection. Its character's just so robust and full, I can hardly keep my lips off it.
They take the guesswork out of it all. I want something that complements me and my lifestyle. That's why I stayed with Big Rock's Traditional Ale.
Big Rock. Quality comes first. The rest comes naturally.
And chicken sausage, Frankfurter Gothic, step on the earlobe, pot. Ravioli carousel, paperweight, dog smell, 6-legged human, shark.
After hours on NR92.com, unexpect the unexpected.
takes you where you want to go.
Hello and welcome to Cooking with Ernest. I'm Megan Strawn and I'm joined by our chef Daniel Brasilero. And today we are going Italian. We are cooking risotto, which is a type of rice, and I believe there's a different procedure to making it.
There is, correct. First, we'll actually just start off by heating the pan with some oil, so we can sweat off this onion for us.
So do you have to make it in oil?
Yes, it has to be oil. It can be olive oil, it can be canola oil, it can be whatever oil you'd like. So we're just gonna chop up some onions, and then we're gonna throw it in the pan here. So you wanna get a nice little sweat. You don't want any color on the onions whatsoever. So we're just gonna keep stirring it. And we're gonna use this special rice called a borio rice. You can get it at any supermarket anywhere in Edmonton.
Okay, not just Italian.
Not just the Italian, yeah, exactly. And we're gonna put it in and we're gonna do what's called toasting of the rice.
Toasting, and what exactly is toasting the rice?
Basically, we're just sauteing it, basically. So we're getting a little bit of oil on there and just getting a nice nutty flavor to the rice. So at this point, where it got a little color, you can see it's changed in how the rice looks. We're gonna just deglaze it with a little bit of wine.
And can you use any type of wine?
White preferably, depending on what you're cooking it with. Here we're gonna use some corn, so we'll just stick with white. So we're gonna add some of this vegetable stock. You can use chicken stock or beef stock. And then we're gonna just keep stirring. At this point in time, you can add some salt, and you're just gonna keep stirring, keep stirring, keep stirring. And basically in 20 minutes or so, you'll get a nice bigger mass where the grains of rice have swelled up a bit.
Yeah, they get really thick there.
Exactly. So at this point in time, you want a little crunch to it, which is called al dente. And we'll actually add some corn, a little bit of cheese for creaminess, and just mix it all in.
When it's cooked, does it stick together better? Or?
It's a little more starchier than your average rice. So basically, you'll be able to sit stuff on it and plate. So here we'll just plate it on.
Perfect. And thank you for showing us how to make risotto. That's been Cooking with Ernest. This is not good. I've seen this in some sort of movie before. It's for summoning demons.
Ate due dembella! Ate due dembella! Ate due dembella! Give me the power, I beg of you! Due dembella! Ate due dembella!
For this week's movie review, we chose the timeless classic, The Evil Dead.
This 1981 film, directed by Sam Raimi, is one of the most popular horror movies of all time.
Featuring the breakout role of Bruce Campbell's career, The Evil Dead had a low budget of under $400,000 and has since made almost $30 million.
It's the story of a group of friends who visit a secluded cabin in the woods and inadvertently raise demons by reading aloud from the ancient Book of the Dead.
As the movie goes on, it chronicles the death and bodily dismemberment of all the characters except for Ashley Ash Williams, played by Campbell.
Choice scenes include stabbing, possession, melting, and deviant trees.
Even though this film was made over 30 years ago, it still stands alone and retains the power to shock and horrify.
Director Sam Raimi, who has gone on to make the Spider-Man trilogy and Drag Me to Hell, attributes the success of the movie to its ability to combine elements of comedy and horror, without sacrificing the effect of either.
The film's success has since spawned 3 sequels, multiple video games, and even a musical.
I give this movie 5 Book of the Deads out of 5.
And I too give it 5 Kandarian Demons out of 5.
Oh my God, Kara, let's go!
No, I want to stay!
Lights out, Megan.
This week's viral video takes us to a place that some people fear most, the dark.
Submitted as an entry in the Bloody Cuts Who's There film challenge, Lights Out centers around a woman who finds a shadowy figure in her doorway. After getting a little too close, she decides tonight she's sleeping with the lights on. Of course, who could sleep with the sound of footsteps in your house and your hallway lights turning off? She now finds herself trapped in her bed and her only light is running out. At the end, we're left with the quintessential false sense of reassurance and, of course, the jump scare.
Excuse me. Lights Out can be found on YouTube and bchorrorchallenge.com. This has been this week's viral video.
Kara, why are you doing this?
Kara's not here anymore.
It was you the whole time. You made me cook while I was starving. You made me watch your twisted videos.
Bravo, Megan.
You can't do this. Lydia and Britt will find you and expose you to the world. And Quentin, he's supposed to make sure nothing goes wrong. You can't do this.
I already did.
Please, you don't have to do this.